everybody, FIFA HD, and welcome back to yet another episode of my skill move tutorial series where I show you how, where, and indeed when to perform a skill move in FIFA 21. Today, we've already learnt this skill move. It's the Stepover. It got patched, but did it? That's the question you guys all have probably been asking. I'm going to show you guys how to perform the Stepover, but most importantly, when and where to use it post-patch in FIFA 21. So without further ado, let's get into the intro and then let's get into how to use the Stepover post-patch in FIFA 21.
Griezmann, 3 men around him, but somehow finds some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
Ronaldo on the ball. He's made
Look at this, just control.
The
control display there is absolutely ridiculous. The Elastico on the goal line. The finest of...
We talked about Aussie FIFA. He's not here to make up the numbers.
Moving in to how you perform the Stepover in FIFA 21. I will keep this brief since I've already showed you guys on the channel. If you don't know and you want a more in-depth version or tutorial on how to perform the Stepover, there is a tutorial on my channel, so go and search for that. It is how to perform the Stepover in FIFA 21, but essentially it's relatively easy once you get the angles right. I will use a degree and a clock perspective for you guys so that you guys can get the angles in your head correct. Essentially, you need to press in, depending on where the player is facing, 0 degrees and then rotate it all the way around to either 90 or 270 degrees. Okay, so you need to, depending on where the player is facing, press it forward to where the player is facing, so that would be 0 degrees, and then around to the 90 or around to the 270 degrees, so around to the side, either side, and that will perform the Stepover. You then need to use the left analog stick to exit out the direction that you want to exit. Okay, so whether it's to the side, backwards, out in front at a small 45-degree angle, it doesn't matter. You will use the left analog stick to essentially, okay, exit out to the direction that you want to. From a clock perspective, if it makes it easier for you guys, you need to enter in depending on where the player is facing, and I stress that which direction the player is facing will depend on what angle you do it. You need to enter in at 12 o'clock and then rotate it all the way around to 3 or 9 o'clock. And then obviously use, as I was saying, the left analog stick to enter in or exit out what direction you want to exit out to. That's how you perform the Stepover. Again, if you want a more in-depth tutorial, go and check it out on my channel. But without further ado, I'm going to show you guys when and where you should use the Stepover post-patch in FIFA 21. Moving into where you should perform the Stepover post-patch in FIFA 21. Essentially, the best place is still in the box, but I have found it's more useful now, more than it was earlier, in the midfield area. Okay, so you can't use the Stepover, spam it in every single way, in every single section of the pitch like you could previously pre-patch. But in this patch, I found it's very good when you have a little bit of space and you want to change direction, maybe face the opposite way to switch the ball. It's similar to a body feint where you change direction, but essentially the Stepovers makes it a little bit harder to tackle. Even post-patch, I found the Stepovers is way harder to tackle, even post-patch, compared to the body feint. Okay. So definitely use it still. It's a very, very good skill move to use in the place of, let's say, the bots. Also midfield, even on the wing. But I have found the best place to use it is in most places, but mostly when you have a lot more space. You can't do it in tight areas, on the pitch like you could pre-patch. But let's get into when you should use the Stepover post-patch. Moving into when you should use the Stepover post-patch. Essentially, look guys, the best time is when you have a lot of space, and at the time that you see a space or a gap in the defense and you want to burst into that space. The Stepover is still usable, especially with high dribbling players, and at the time that there is a gap and there is a space and you want to burst into it, you can use the Stepovers to obviously do that. Now, I have found the actual 90 degree or 70 degree, 270 degree exit, so the side exit with the step over is actually more overpowered now than the straight exit one. You know, the one where you go at a small angle to the side, and that was the most overpowered version of the step over pre-patch. Now I find the actual side exit, so 90 or 270 or 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock the exit with the left stick, is the most overpowered way of doing it, and I can still use this to get into that gap between the defenders to then make a shot. You've seen up in front of your screen from the examples, they are post-patch examples, and I can still use it. I can use it to burst into the space or, you know, change direction with a step over to essentially, you know, make a pass, make a play, make a shot. Okay, so it is still usable. Let me just tell you that it is still usable. Is it as usable? Absolutely not. Can you use it as much? Absolutely not. But is it usable? It is. And in my opinion, you should still use the step overs in FIFA 21 regardless of the patch, okay? Because it still is usable in certain situations, okay? But as always, guys, that will signal the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Smash a like, drop a sub. Thank you ever so much for 11k subs. From the bottom of my heart, guys, the support's been tremendous. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm out. Have a good one, guys, and peace.